So I had logged in previously, and then I changed something. But
But
so
you
now,
need to add a redirect at the top of your views.
yes, I do. Thank you. All right. So I had logged in previously. So I have this entry in store in session. But if I try and go to dashboard, it didn't take me. Didn't take me there because nothing is going to take me there because the server was dead. Did I not finish? Oh, I didn't even finish making the thing. So hold on, let me finish this. Div column empty for p tag class equals text danger column 12 column empty 8 message and if and for and if.
So if you have a class like column medium 4, do you also have a thing that's like modifying that, like a
Bootstrap.
CSS would?
Bootstrap is it's what's doing that, yeah.
Oh, so that's what Bootstrap can grab onto.
Yep.
Okay.
Bootstrap is a bunch of CSS styling that's pre-built.
Right. Okay.
All right. So if I try and go to dashboard now, it kicks me right back to here because I tried to edit this thing in session, but it didn't like it, and after it booted me back, it said no. So let's try and log in, make sure that works. If I do an invalid thing, it says no. If I do this, it says no. If I actually log in, it says yes. So now, if I go and delete or edit, it says no. So try as I might, no. It does not like it. All right, so there's one more. Yes.
So you'll stay logged in until you log out, right?
Sort
when
of.
does the session data clear itself? Like if you refresh the page, or if you leave the page, or
I will show you. Nope, not that one. It will clear itself April 3rd at that time. So it automatically creates an expiration date for whatever it puts in there.
okay. So like
But
even if you
other than that, I would have to manually log out. And that's the next thing that I was going to do, was build the functionality for letting a user log out, right? Because
So
I have that here.
even if you close the browser, as long as the server's still running, it'll stay logged in?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So let's double check that. My old friend. Okay, so it goes to dashboard. If I exit this, exit all this, go back to Chrome, open those windows back up, go to
Jody?
localhost. Yes?
So for the belt exam, it's okay for us to copy our own login registration that we made for the assignment, right? Like that's
yes,
fine.
And that's what I will encourage you guys to do.
Okay.
When you come in on Monday, or not when you come in, but when you go to start your belt exam Monday, you should have what I have currently, which is at least the login registration app part. Have your models, all your validations set up, have your models set up, have your, return your index, return the render for your actual page, have your register method, your login method, all set up. So yeah, you will want to start Monday with your login registration already done and built out. And that will be your starting point. All right, so log out is relatively easily. Request, session, flush, return, redirect, base route. That's it. So now if I were to go to, let me restart my server. So I can go here and then I can go back to dashboard and it'll let me in. But then if I go to /logout, because I set that route up, it'll take me back here. And then if I try and go back into dashboard, it kicks me right back out to here. So this point that I'm at right now, minus the fact that I created my models for my book and authors, this is where you should be ready to start Monday. So have this code already in a project, call it Belt Exam 1, and be ready to go. All right, so now the rest of the application. So let's start with here, right? Let's make it so that dashboard is going to be this page. And if I did dashboard /authors, it would be this page. So let's go do that. In our books authors, I have views.dashboard. I'm going to change this to views.books. And in here, I'll just change this to books. And now we need to make, let's get some stuff set up. So notice this right here. I'm going to be putting this in just about every single route from here on out. So first step that I want to do is actually set up my URLs, because that's going to be important in helping me figure out exactly what I need to do, where I need to go, how many HTML pages to make, et cetera, right? So this path is going to be, path and method for book dashboard. Path /authors is going to be views.authors, and that'll be the path and method for author dashboard. I'm going to have path and method for one book and for one author, right? Because of these guys here. This is showing one book. This is showing one author. So I'll have path. And let's look at these routes, /books/for. So I'm going to say /books/ obviously I'm not just literally going to put for. I'm going to assume, considering this says for and this says ideas for, that I'm going to use this part of the URL to figure out and say, okay, I probably want to grab a book with an idea for to populate this data on the page. So I'm going to make this one called int book ID. And it'll go to views.oneBook. And then I'm essentially going to do the same thing for the author, right? So instead of making it /books/book ID, I'll say /authors/author ID. And make this views.oneAuthor. Cool. So that has me at the routes that I need for displaying pages, but there's some processing things needed, right? There's a form here, so I need a path and view for creating a new book. So this is going to be /books/create, and go to views.createBook. And this is just me deciding that this is what I want to call it. You can be more or less explicit. I'm actually going to go in and just make this one books, and then I'll have to go into my login registration app. And instead of redirecting to just /dashboard, I'll redirect to /dashboard/books. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, so this is going to be for the handling the submission of that. I'm going to need to do the same thing for the authors one. So path and method for creating a new author. And this will be path/authors/create views.create author.
Is this project about the same size as what we'll see to do on the belt?
Yeah, it's similar. For the belt exam, it'll typically be one dashboard page that has, something like this. It has a list of a bunch of other things, or a bunch of one thing, with the ability to break off and go look at one of those things, or edit one of those things, create a new one of those things, add to a relationship in some way. But yes, this general layout is more or less what you're going to see.
Cool.
So I have viewing all the books, creating a new book, and then I'll pair these all together. So these are the ones for the books, viewing all the authors, creating an author, viewing one author. But now there's one more part. Well, two more, technically. This guy here, there's a drop down for selecting an author to add to this list of authors, right? Create a form on the specific author template that has a drop down of all the books in the database. The add button should add the selected book to the given author. And this same thing is on the book page. So I need to have a path and method for adding an author to one book. And this will be path/books/int book ID. And then I'll make it be /add author. And then by that same logic, for adding an author or adding a book to one author, and I'll make this say /authors /author ID /add book. Goes to views.add book. All right, so I have a method for showing all books, showing one book, or showing all books, creating one book, showing one book, adding an author to a book.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask, if you need that comma.
Yep, I do. Showing all authors, creating an author, showing one author, adding a book to one author. So it's a lot of routes for 4 pages, but necessary. Okay.
But can you spell necessary?
Off to a great start there, right? I can't spell
Nice.
necessary. I've been training
Sweet.
this. I've been training for this moment my whole life. All right, so I
Nice.
have, this is books. I need to have, let's do this. Authors. Def create book requests pass def one book request. And then the one thing that I need to pay attention to here is I have a book ID. I have some route parameter. So I need an extra parameter in here for that, book underscore ID.
What are you passing, or why are you pass?
Because my route is set up, it goes to /books and then some number. right? This means it's
Okay.
just any number. So in order to be able to grab that number, I need to take this name here and pass it into the method here.
Okay.
So I got that, one book, and then def add author is going to be request, and it's going to take the book ID I want to add an author to, and pass.
All right, I don't think I really get it.
Okay, let me finish this out, and then I'll take a second and explain. Okay. Look at this page right here, right? This is showing one book.
Oh yeah.
But how do I know which book I need? Like, which book is it that I'm trying to show?
The one that you have the ID of?
Exactly. I have some book ID here, right? And I know it's the ID because that's what it shows here.
Oh yeah.
So what I've done is I've created that route, /books/4/books, but I can't just say /books/4, right? Because it'll only work for book 4. Yeah, I mean, it won't work for book 4, but that's a whole other thing. And I can't just say book ID because it's gonna literally be looking for me to go to localhost 8000/dashboard/book/books/book_ID, right?
But it wouldn't know which ID, right?
Exactly. So that's why we have to do this way.
Okay, so it knows
That
that it's a
means
number.
that this is going to be some number, whatever number it is, we will refer to as book ID. And where are we going to refer to it as book ID? In the views, what is the method that's going to run at this route? Views.oneBook. So in one book, we need to add that book ID as a route parameter. All these other ones just have request, but here we need to have that extra piece of information
Okay.
because we need to use that information for something.
So if I understand correctly, pass means it's skipping an item.
Not skipping. I'm passing it from here
Oh,
to here.
that actually means you're like when we regularly say pass.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. All right.
Okay. You're passing it down there after the colon or
Before the
whatever.
colon. Yeah. Right here.
Oh. So pass tells it to pass it into the parentheses?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I can use it in here. Now I can use book ID as something. Right?
Okay. Right. That
Okay.
makes sense.
So now let's work on our templates. Books.html, one book.html, authors.html, one author.html. So now, technically, if I really wanted to, I could just have 2 HTML pages because the layout of everything on here is almost identical with a couple different changes, but it would essentially be more work than anything else. So I'm going to create just the books and one book, and then I will copy and paste over and go and change things as necessary. So let's start with, I know I want Bootstrap. So in my books, let's do that, and then duh. Get some more space. All right. Container. I'm going to have this split up into 2 sections. So I'm going to have one big row, and then I'm going to have a column 12, column medium 8. And that's going to be this section here. So in here, I'm going to have a column 12 or column medium 6 with an H1 that says add a book. Whoopsies. Okay. So add a book, and then I want to have a form. And then I'll worry about this in a second. So there be a form here. And then so I'm gonna hop over into views right now, real quick. So I'm gonna need to render this HTML page. Render request books.html, right? But there's some information on this page that I don't want to hard code. I don't want to have to come in here and literally hard code in a table with all these things. And if somebody creates a new book, have to go in and change the HTML to reflect that, right? No, if I'm going to put these into the database, I want to be able to dynamically pull them from the database and have them pop up. So that means I need a context, because there's information that I want to dynamically toss up onto that page. And let's think just logically, what is this a table of?
The database.
But what part of the database? Because I have 3 tables in my database. I have 4 tables in my database.
Books.
Right, so this is just books. So I'll say books is going to be book.objects.all. And that is all I need on this page. I need to say from .models import all, but that's another thing. So I'm grabbing all the book objects from the database, putting them into this context, tossing context in, so that in here I can now, let's see, that one is this guy. So now I want to say column 12, column medium 4, and I'm going to make a table. So table dot table table striped. Yeah. So I'm going to have a T head. I'm just going to have a TR. I think this was class table dark. TH ID title action. And then I'll have a T body. And in the T body, I want to go through for each book in books. And this books here refers to this books, which is all the books from the database. So for each book in books, I want to make a row in my table. And it's going to have a TD with the book's ID, a TD with the book's title, and then I'll just make an A tag here, put an empty thing in here for now. It says view. I think I saw somebody said something in chat. A brute force attack would unravel this. No. What do you mean by that, Martin?
Could you tell what is this table equals to table, class equal to table,
This is just
script?
styling. Don't worry about this stuff. This is just styling. Don't worry about this for now. That's not the focus of this. This would be a whole other thing. That's not the focus of this right now. So don't worry about that. This I'm just doing because I like things to look nice. Oh, okay. Martin's just wondering. Oh, that. So let's see. If I nope, I don't want to do that. What did I do? Okay. If I go to my old friend.com, my server's not running. Okay, there already a form here, and I have my nice little table. Obviously, there's nothing in it yet because there's nothing in my database. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm actually going to take this guy, put it up here. Okay, that looks nicer. All right. But beneath the whole class table striped, and then T head class table dark, that's what makes this have this dark background. That's just
Got it. Yeah.
bootstrap stuff. Yeah.
No, I got that table dark, but I just want to know what is this table stripe. I don't see any stripes here.
Right.
Lines.
I have nothing in the database yet, but it'll
Okay, so-
become apparent when I start actually having things in the database.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So let's set this form up. This should go to /books/create. So my action should be /dashboard/books/create. Method equals post. Then we'll have our .row form group label dot column 12 column medium for title. This is going to be the book's title. Input type text, column 12, column medium 8. Name is title.
What are you doing when you first put column 12 and then you put like another column value?
So on the full screen, it takes two. I mean, I'm just trying to say it so that I'll know that I understood it or not.
Yeah.
On a full screen, it takes 12. The complete every container has 12 columns, so it takes the complete one. And when you reduce the size to a medium size, like for a tablet or for a phone, it takes only 4 columns.
So it's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a little bit the
yeah.
opposite. Yeah.
No,
If
no,
it's a
yeah.
small screen,
it.
it'll take up the full width of the container it's in. If it's a bigger screen, it's only going to take up a third of the width. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
why
Sorry.
the container that it's in currently, let's see, is this whole thing, right?
Oh,
So title is only taking up a third of it, and this is taking up 2/3. But if I made it smaller, the container that it's in is this, so it's taking up the whole thing.
oh, right. If it detects the
Yeah.
screen is a certain size, it goes to the next
Yep.
value.
And that's just bootstrap stuff for responsive styling. It's good to know, but I also don't want you to like spend time trying to figure that out
Gotcha.
right before the belt exam. This is just me doing me.
So you don't need a media query with Bootstrap. It does it on its own, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's why I love Bootstrap.
That makes Bootstrap so nice.
Yep.
What's the media query?
In order to get this stuff going without Bootstrap, it's annoying. You have to like put special CSS styling stuff in your CSS files to essentially make it say if the screen size is a certain number of pixels, do this thing.
Oh, that's an
Bootstrap,
idiot query?
yeah, Bootstrap will detect automatically because Bootstrap is literally built to do that. Bootstrap does it for you, basically, is what's going on.
Okay.
Bootstrap is very nice. It's just very nice. I like Bootstrap a lot. Okay, so all right, so I got that, and then I need another row form group label for description, column 12, column medium 4, description. Oh, wait, no. I don't need this. Man, I'm just all over the place right now. Okay. Label for description. Description. And then text area. Column 12, column medium 8. Name, description. I'll make it be 4 rows. Okay, cool. And then form control. Yeah. All right. Fine, I'll make this bigger. Nope, gotta be bigger. Whatever, I'll take it. And then row form group. Column 4. Submit. Button. Primary, column small, column 6, column small for empty 4. Add. All right. Nope, didn't want to do that. I just want to figure out why it hates me. Why do you
So
hate
Cody,
me?
the add button, how did you get it to put in below this? Was it not supposed to be below the title and description with the code I'm talking about? Can I look at the code once?
I have an empty div that is offsetting
Oh,
the button
okay.
by 4 columns.
Got it. Yeah, I did not see the empty
Yeah.
text there. Okay.
Yep. So form action, and then I'll say class equals column 12.
Sorry, I missed that. What does the empty div do?
I gave the empty div a width of 4 columns, so it
Mhm.
essentially pushes the add button to be put in line with the text boxes.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all I had to do was add some styling to the form itself, and now everything looks good, exactly the way I want. I'm a happy boy. I'm a very happy boy. Not anymore, but I don't care. It's nobody.
Cody, what's a descript?
What are you talking
Oh,
about? I don't know what you mean.
no, disregard.
Nope, don't know what you're talking about. All right. Okay, so now I need to make this work because I need to be able to put things in there. So let's do that. I want to. So for one of the things that I want to do is I want this to be in every single one of these. And all of these are going to be so that if a user tries to access any of these pages at all and they're not logged in, it kicks them back and tells them to log in. I know it's redundant and excessive, have it on all these places, but we're good. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, this guy right here. So I want to, you know what? We're going to add some validations to our books and our authors. So I'm going to say in my books authors app, I'm going to make a book manager models.model, make a book validator, post data, and I'm going to say errors equals empty dictionary. And I'm going to make title should be minimum, I don't know, 2 characters. And be unique in DB. So I don't want to be able to create 2 books with the same name. Description should be minimum 10 characters. So these shouldn't be too tough. If the length of post data title is less than 2, errors title equals book title must be at least 2 characters long. Else if I need to check for uniqueness the same way that I did the email check in the register form, which is check to see if it exists in the database. Books equals book.objects.filter. Title equals post data title. So else if the length of books is greater than 0, errors title equals cannot create duplicate book entry.
Cody, I think line 4 is supposed to say models.manager. Am I wrong?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Good catch. That would have given me an error that I would not have liked, and I would have no idea how to deal with that. Appreciate that very much, Patty. All right. Wasn't that Patty said that, right?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
I was thinking about something else really quick.
Okay.
Sorry. But how did you? Can I see the redirect to go from the login into the other app? I wasn't.
Yes.
How do you get from one app to another app?
So the first thing that we need to look at here is that the other apps URLs are going to start with dashboard.
Okay.
So in my login registration app, I have it so that on the successful register or login, it redirects to /dashboard/books. So /dashboard takes us to the books authors app, and then /books takes us to the books
So
view.
you don't need like a / or anything to go back up a file or anything?
Nope, because we're going by the actual HTTP URL. So
Oh,
that's
because
essentially saying
it's
go to
blank to go to the
localhost
first one.
8000 /dashboard/books.
Okay, that does make sense.
Cool.
Sorry for.
Nope, not a
tangent.
problem.
Cool.
Not a problem at all. All right. So I'm checking the length of the title and the length, and now I need to check the length of the description. So if the length of post data description is less than 10, errors description, your description must be at least 10 characters long.
Cody, do you need a objects equal manager or whatever
Yep.
in a line?
Yep, I'm absolutely going to need to do that.
Okay.
That way I can actually use the book val. So your description must be at least 10 characters long, and then return errors. Cool. So now in here for create book, Leela, come on. She's borking at dogs. Errors. Errors equals book.objects.bookval request.post.
It's her attempt to bring you lunch.
Well, I don't want to eat another dog, so don't do that, Leela. She's barking at another dog walking by. All right, so I'm going to send the post data through the book validator. If the length of errors comes back greater than 0, then I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the login registration validators, which is for key value in errors.items. And then, so in here, I will need to, from Django.contrib, import messages. So for key value in errors.items, messages.error, request value extra tags equals key. Return redirect to /dashboard/books. Otherwise, I want to actually create the book. So new book equals book.objects.create. Actually, I'm going to make it so that let me check the wireframe. No, I accidentally opened up Spotify. Okay, so on a successful creation, I'm just going to make it redirect back to that page, which means that I do not need to hold on to the new book for its ID. So book.objects.create title equals request.post title, because I want to take that field from the form, and then description equals request.post description. And then, so there's something here that I'm going to show you. I think I didn't realize it until fairly recently, but I like this a lot more. I think the way that the platform is laid out, because our book model has an uploaded by that is a foreign key that relates to the user, the platform would have, oh no, I accidentally deleted, closed out. Oh no, okay, so it's another one. The platform would have you say uploaded by equals user.objects.get ID equals request.session user underscore ID, right? I'm going to show you a little trick. If we look at the database and look at books authors app book, it's not uploaded by, but uploaded by ID, which means I can just do this. So you can do it by saying uploaded by equals the user object, or you can specify uploaded by ID equals request.session user ID. I think this is cleaner. I think in the long run, it's more efficient because it's fewer calls to the database. You don't need to make a call to the database to then follow it up by making another call to the database. So this is another option that you have. I like it better. I'm going to push for this to be the way to do it moving forward. And then return redirect /books or /dashboard/books. All right, so now let's go test this out. I'm gonna have to restart my server. Okay. Someone give me a book. No one reads books?
Harry Potter
Lessons.
or whatever.
What?
Yeah, stick with Harry Potter. It works.
Harry Potter, but okay. You know, we're gonna go with this one again. Harry Potter and the Longer Than Expected Demo.
Wow.
That time Harry Potter and instructor Cody took way longer than they thought to finish the demo.
Right?
And the Deathly Hallows.
Welcome, Dakota.
Thanks, Cody.
Also, there were some pretty deathly hallows.
I was wondering if we'd ever hear from that Dakota guy again.
Yeah, that Dakota guy.
Yeah, I thought I'd check in today. See how you guys are
Yeah.
doing.
All
Yeah.
right, so Harry Potter and the longer than expected demo and the Deadly Hallows. That time, Harry Potter and instructor Cody took way longer than they thought to. Oh God, this might be longer than 35 characters long. Hey, I remembered it earlier, but I forgot it this time.
Hey,
So the world is back to normal.
so hell hasn't frozen over.
Nope. All right, so let's try that again. Harry Potter and the longer than expected demo and the Deathly Hallows. That time that Harry Potter and instructor Cody took way longer than they thought to finish the demo. Also, there were some pretty deathly hallows. Harry Potter and the longer than expected demo and the Deathly Hallows. Yay! We have an entry in our database now.
So the table just prints out the title.
Yeah, because that's all I have it set up to do.
Okay, right. I was
Just book
confirming.
ID and book.title.
Cool.
Now let's flesh this guy out. This action view, right? Currently, if I click on it, it doesn't actually do anything. But according to this, I want it to be so that when I click on view, it'll take me to see that one book's page. So let's do that. This is an A tag, which means it's going to go to a link. It's going to go to /dashboard/books/ and then let's look at our urls.py. We want to see one book, so it should go to /books/some book ID. So dashboard books book.id. So now if I come back here and I refresh this page, it's going to take me to where I want to go, but where I want to go doesn't actually exist yet. But that's good. That means that this page is essentially done. I'm going to add one more thing in here. I'm going to have.
And we are supposed to do all this in 5 hours.
Well, I spent the first hour doing the hour and a half doing the login registration. You'll already have that done by the time that you start your belt exam. So yes.
No. So patient portal, like your.
Hey, Cody, could you go back to your views when you're calling the
Yes.
redirect?
Mm-hmm. In which part? In
the books.
this one right here?
Yeah, the books. Okay. So I guess I'm a little confused. So the link is calling the book ID, but the redirect in your views is not?
Yes. Because according to my wireframe, there's nothing that says that when I actually finish creating a book, that it should redirect here. It's saying, it doesn't say. I could have created it so that I wanted to redirect to the page of the newly created book or author, because it's going to be the same functionality
So then,
here.
like, for example, the dojo reads, because it wants us to redirect after we submit something into the database, then in the redirect in the views, we would put this double squigglies book ID or whatever.
Well, no. So it wouldn't be double squiggly, but you would have to say, new book equals, and then this would be an F string.
Okay. And then you would call out the new book variable.
And then it would be the new book .id.
Okay.
Right. But we don't need to do that, so
Yeah.
go back to this. All right. So we've got that. We've got this working. I added in a login button very sneakily. If I come here, now there's a logout button, and it'll actually log me out. Cool. But now I want it to be so that when I click on that, it actually takes me where I want to go. So in order for it to take me where I want to go, I got to make where I want it to go. So here, this is the page that I want it to go to, right? Showing me one book. So for all books, I wanted to get all of the book objects. But in this one, all I want is the one. So I'm going to have context be a dictionary with this book, and that's going to be book.objects.get ID equals book underscore ID. Right? We have this book underscore ID. It's a parameter from the route, and I'm grabbing it and saying, get me that book. And then I will return render with request one book.html with context. So now we need to make one book.html. One thing I know I want is Bootstrap. So I'm going to grab it. Get our container going, make a row with just the title. So let's do that. So I'm going to make this be column 6, H1. This is going to be this book dot title, right? And then I'll have a column 6 text right. Back. Harry Potter and the Longer Than Expected Demo and the Deathly Hallows. It's a long title to fit up there. And then I could click that and go back, and then click here, go there, go back, go back, go back. But yeah, cool. So I got that. What else do we want on this page? I want the ID description. So let's do that. Let's make our row. And this is going to have a couple of different lines. So I'll make a p tag. It's going to say ID is going to be this underscore book dot ID. And a reminder that I'm using this underscore book because that's what I have it called in context. So this book's ID, and then p tag description, this book dot description. So now if we go double check, cool, I can see the book, I can see the book's title, or the book's title, the book's ID, the book's description. Let's I'm gonna put this in a span tag. Span. One of the other cool things about Bootstrap is that Bootstrap lets us apply header styling to other text things. So I'm going to say this is an H3. So I get this ID as 1. Let's make it an H4. H6. I just want it to be bold, really. So span class equals H6. Description. That time Harry Potter and Instructor Cody took way longer than they thought to finish the demo. Also, there were some pretty deathly hallows. Now, the other part of this page, and this is where the challenge comes in, is this. We want to see the authors that are already a part of it, and then have a drop down with the authors not already a part of it. So that means, so for the authors that are already a part of it, I don't need to bring anything else in. But for the other parts, I will need to have one more thing in here. I need to say authors. It's going to be author.objects.all. So before we before I move on to that, I'm going to take this books and essentially recreate it in here. Add a author. Okay. If I see if there's something that says title, I want it to be first name. Oh god, this is gonna be a little annoying. This needs to have first name, last name, so this is gonna be first name, first name. Last name, last name. This is notes. This is notes. And obviously, this should not go to slash dashboard slash book slash create, but dashboard slash author slash create. And this guy should be ID name action. And it should be for author. Man, that was smooth. Okay. So now use.py.
Are you doing books as one to many or many to many?
Many to many.
Okay.
So this is that. I'm going to take this guy and put it here. But then, authors. Author.objects.all. All right, and then I'm going to add one other thing. I'm going to put two things up here in books where I have this a tag. I'm going to have two. I'm going to have href equals slash dashboard slash books or slash authors. Authors. So that I can hop back and forth. And this is, it wasn't explained, it didn't say to do it, but I want to do it.
I usually do that pretty early on too, because it makes it so
Yeah.
much easier to
Test
go between
things.
your
Yep.
HTML.
So now I can go to authors. Cool. Yay. Things work. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to make this 8 or 7, 5. Give some a little bit of extra room there. Cool. 5. All right. Now we need the functionality of adding an author, which means that we also want to have an author validator. So class author manager models.manager def author val self post data errors equals blah 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 And then I'm going to basically go build the same things. My first and last name should be at least 2 characters each, and then I don't want one in the an author that I don't want multiple authors in the database with the same exact name. So I'm actually not. I have never done this yet, but I'm pretty sure I can say I could check for 2 fields at once.
Could you explain that validator thingy business at all?
What do you mean? Do I explain the validator business thingy at all? We did
Oh,
this demo on. I did a lecture on this on Monday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
And that you can rewatch that video also.
oh, for sure.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, maybe some of this will come back to me.
All right, so I'm going to filter the objects whose first and last name match what's in the form. And then I'll say if the length of post data first name is less than 2, errors first name equals book or author's first name must be at least 2 characters. Do the same thing with the last name. And then if the length of authors is greater than 0, errors author equals an author with that name already exists.
Your book manager up there
Mhm.
has an elif for the length of books.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that allow you to make a duplicate book if the title is greater than 2? Because it's an elif?
Yes, thank you.
No worries.
Good looking out there. All right, so I'm checking the length of the first name, length of the last name, how many things are in the database, and then if len of post data description is less than 10, or this one is notes, not description. Notes, Notre Dame's errors. Notes equals notes must be longer than 10 characters. All right. And then return errors. So I created an author manager that will check to see the length of the first name of the author's first name is at least 2 characters. The length of the last name is at least 2 characters. Make sure there's nobody in the database with the same name, and that the notes are at least 10 characters long. So now we can essentially use this same logic here that we'd use for creating a book and do it for creating an author. Errors equals author dot objects dot author val.
Oh, was validation the thing of where you're checking for the errors?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Okay.
First name equals request dot post first name. Last name equals request post last name. Notes equals request post notes. And then I'm leaving this one in there, the uploaded by IDs, request session user ID, and then redirect to authors. All right, so who wrote Harry Potter and the entirely too long demo?
Thunder.
Simmons.
Dunder Rowling. I'm married. Takes on site builds that are way more complicated than originally anticipated. Nope, not save. Now if I do this. No, didn't return. What? What? Create author didn't return. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is the one that I wanted. The add author was adding an author to a book. I'm actually going to go and change that name, add author to book. And then add book. I did it wrong again. To author. Okay. Oh my God, I am just no. Just no. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. No.
No, 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 no.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no attribute add author because I changed them. I changed them. Use dot
It's
add book to author and then add author to book. So now if I do this and I refresh the page, manager object has no attribute author val. Oh, because I didn't add object equals author manager. Yay! So now I just need to, in my authors.html, change this because author doesn't have a title. It's author.firstname and author.lastname because those are the two parts that make up an author's name, right? Dunder Rowling, hooray!
nice.
Dakota
Uh-oh.
Giltner, good at catching my dumb mistakes that I have no excuse making anymore. Add Dakota, yay! The Innovators, a book about smart people. Yay! And we can see the book about smart people. Cool. So now let's go in here. Let's do class equals row. Class equals row, which means I don't need these. All right. So now the whole reason that I went and did that now as opposed to later was so that I can see all the smart people, all the authors, right, that wrote a specific book, and the ability to actually add an author to that list.
Try to make another Dunder Rowling and see if your dual filter works.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be interested to see if that works.
Yay, it works. I just didn't set up any flash messages to pop up.
Nice.
So I'll just do that here real quick. If messages for message in messages.
That's a way better way to do it. I think before we had to filter through the filtered authors. You'd like filter out a group of authors by first name and then
Yeah.
you'd filter through that filtered group by last name.
Yep, that's no fun. We don't want that.
No.
All right, now let me put this up here too. Where did I did it? Inside the row. So inside the row. Oh, I forgot the end if. No, wait, I didn't forget the end if. I just put an end for that was not supposed to be there. End if. Okay. An author with that name already exists. Neat. Oops. Cool. Author with that
Nice.
name already exists. Cannot create duplicate book entry. Sweeto burrito. All right, so my stuff's working. It's good to see, good to know. Let's keep trucking along. So this page right here, I need to get the list of the authors already associated with the book, and then the ability to add an author to that list. So let's do that. It's going to be fun on the bun. Yeah. I'm actually going to change the way that this is set up because I hate it. And then I'll have an H4 authors, and this will be unordered list. Okay, so now for this one, I want to show all of the authors already attached to this book, right? So I can do that because of the many-to-many relationship that I set up. So for author in this book dot, and what do I have the model set up as? Dot authors dot all, because that's what I have this related name set as, right? An author has a list of books, a book has a list of authors. And that's how I can access that many-to-many relationship. I'll add one more thing here. Because I implemented login registration here too, I can see who posted the book. This book dot uploaded by dot first name, because the uploaded by is the user who posted this book. This book dot uploaded by dot last name. Let's double check that this works. I go to books and I click view. Because I started doing that and I didn't finish it. Posted by Hello Darkness. Oh, that span should end here. Just get some styling stuff in here. Cool. ID 1, posted by Hello Darkness. Description, that time that Harry Potter and Instructor Cody took way longer than they thought to finish the demo. Also, there are some pretty deadly hallows. And then I have this authors here, but there's nothing showing up. And that's because I haven't added any authors to that list. So how do I go about doing that? That is the big $1 million question-o. Do you guys like my Spanish?
So
Wow.
confusing.
Fun factoid: we do the O and the stuff at the end of Spanish. Spanish speakers, to quote unquote speak English, will add
Yeah.
the suffix "ation" to all of their words.
Really? Interesting. Cool. All right, so let's see how this looks. It looks nice. But now is one of the hard parts. I mean, I say one of, there's several. Now I need to have this form set up so that I can go through, pick through a drop down, pick an author that I want to add to a list, add to the list of authors that wrote a book, and actually do that. So let's start with creating our form. This should go to /dashboard/books/this_book.id/ what did I have the URL set as? Add author. Method equals post. So we'll have one thing. So just row form group select class equals columns, column 8. I'm just going to always have it be that form control name equals author. And then this is where things get hairy. I need to say for author in authors, right? I have authors is author.objects.all. So I need to loop through all of the authors. And I need to say, because the bonus that I'm going for is have it only include authors or books not yet associated with the given book or author. So I only want to see the authors that aren't already part of this relationship with this book. So I can make another if check. If, let's see, if author, if this book is not in author.books.all. So if this book that I'm looking at is not in an author's list of books, then I want to show them. Author.id, author.firstname, author last
And
name.
since it's a many-to-many, you could do that if check in either direction, correct, Cody?
Yep, right. So I could have done it this way, or I could have said, if author not in this book .authors.all. And either way would work. I will prove that here. Dunder Rowling, Dakota Giltner. And then if I come here and I change this back to what it was before, I refresh, I still have Dunder Rowling and Dakota Giltner, which is good. All right, now input submit column small for add btn primary. Cool. So now, but now if I do this CSRF, oh my god. Oh my
Classic
goodness.
Dunder.
It's happened, this is the second time it happened in this demo. CSRF token. Now if I try and do this, it's gonna not work because there's nothing happening at that view, right? Add author to book. So here's what I need to do, is I need to say, I need to grab the ID from the form, grab the ID from the book, take each thing, add it to each other. So I'm going to say this book equals book.objects.get ID equals book_ID. right? Because that's coming from up here from the route. This author equals author.objects.get. Now, can anybody tell me where I'm getting the author's ID?
Out of the book?
Not out of the book, because this is an author that's not already part of the book.
Out of the
Oh, from the
database.
request.
Out
Because
of,
posting it?
yeah, right. So in my one book, I have the author ID from this dropdown. So I'm going to say ID equals request post author ID. Or no, just request.post author. So I'm taking the author's ID from the form to get the author. And I'm getting the book's ID from the route to get the book. And then to merge them, I'm going to say this book dot authors dot add this author.
And so why is the request.post author and not author ID, Cody?
Because in my select, the field name is author rather than author ID. So if I had had the name be author ID, then it would have to be author ID. And I'll just do that because that makes a little bit more sense, because that's what's actually being put in here is the author ID itself. Okay, so after I get the book based on the book ID in the route, and the author based on the author ID being submitted in the form, I add the two, I merge the two by adding the author to the book's list of authors, or alternatively, this author dot books dot add this book. Either way would work. Then I want to redirect to slash dashboard slash books slash book ID. So let's come in here, refresh this, make sure I restart my server. Now if I want to add Dunder Rowling, hi. So it means it's there. I just didn't actually finish out this part. I just put hi in here, but I want to have author.firstname and author.lastname. Why? Oh.
Why do you have a row inside of a row there?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, up here? No, I don't.
Oh.
I did, but then I got rid of it because it wasn't working the way that I wanted to. All right, authors, Dunder Rowling, and if I add Dakota, now I have Dunder Rowling and Dakota Giltner. But now I got nothing in there, and that's because there are no other authors left, right? All of the authors in the database are already associated with this book. Okay, so then let me just do column. So that's good. That means if I go to the innovators, there's no authors, but if I want to add an author, I can add Dunder Rowling and not Dakota Giltner. So now if I go here, oh, well, I need to basically take this page and recreate it. So let's do that. Let's take this HTML page and recreate it for here. So if I say, oh, I need to do a couple other things, right? My one book, I'm taking the book from context and all of the author, or I'm taking the book out of the database and putting it into context and getting all of the authors out of the database and putting it into context. But for one author, I need to do the opposite. And by that, I mean, I need to get this author is the one author based on the ID and the route. And books, Leela, I'll take you outside in like 5 minutes. Calm down. Book.objects.all. I want all the books because we're going to have to do the same thing. Return, render, request, one author.html with context. So if I go to authors and I click view, it's going to take me here, which is good. I got the HTML page up, but I need to change everything. So this book needs to be changed to this author. This should go to authors. Okay, this author uploaded by, this author uploaded by. Description should be notes. Rather than the title, it should be the first name and last name. Okay. Books should be for book in this book author dot books dot all. Oops. Book. Oh wait, this is relevant because I don't have a first and last name on a book. I just have a title. And then for book in books, if this book is not in book, if this book not, or no, this, I already changed it to this author. So it should be this author, not in book.authors.all. Book.id. Book.title. Under Rowling, ID1, posted by Hello Darkness. Notes, takes on site builds that are way more complicated than originally anticipated. Books, Harry Potter and the Longer Than Expected Demo and the Deathly Hallows, and The Innovators. So if I go back, I try and click on Dakota. I get Dakota Giltner, ID2, Hello Darkness, good at catching my dumb mistakes that I have no excuse making anymore. Books, Harry Potter and the Longer Than Expected Demo, and the Deathly Hallows. Now the only functionality left is adding the book to the author. That's going to be the same functionality here, but swapped, right? So this author is, actually, I can literally just change these around. This should be request.post book underscore ID. This should be author ID, and then add the author to the list of books, and this should go to /authors/author underscore ID. And now this made me realize I need to go back into my one author page and change the name of that select to book ID. All right. So now let's see if I can add the innovators to Dakota's list of books. No.
I think it's your action on the form.
Yes. Thank you. Good looking out. See?
Of course.
Good at catching my dumb mistakes that I have no excuse making anymore. Didn't return an HTTP response object, return none instead. Why?
That doesn't make sense.
Let's restart our server. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's double check. Someone give me an author.
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft. Long live Lord Cthulhu. Cool. And I don't know, some book, some long description. Sorry, books have title case.
Title case.
Cool. If I click some book, ID is 3, posted by Hello Darkness, description, some long description. There's no authors yet. Let's add H.P. Lovecraft. Cool. Now it says H.P. Lovecraft is an author of this book, and I can add a different author.
Was it gonna return an error if you didn't make the title capitalized?
No, I just did it for consistency.
Ah,
If we go look at H.P. Lovecraft, he wrote some book. And I didn't have to go set it the other way either, right? As long as I added into that many-to-many relationship, it understood and was able to connect the whole thing.
What if I
All
want to
right.
click? What if I want to click on the book, some book, to view the book? But what if I want to do it from H.P. Lovecraft
You're going to make me do more
and
work.
vice versa?
You're going to make me do more work? Yes, I can do that. I can say in one author, for book in this author.books.all, I want to wrap this book title in an A tag with /dashboard/books/book.id. And then same way here, I want to wrap this guy, this author's name in an A tag with /dashboard/authors/author.id. So now, H.P. Lovecraft, some book. H.P. Lovecraft, some book. Yeah.
Isn't that just so much nicer?
It is so much nicer. It really is. And it didn't take that much more work. All right, so obviously, that was a lot. But I started at 11. It is 2:22. And I also built in the login and registration. So that means you guys should have no problem finishing a belt exam in 5 hours on
Let's
Monday.
go over this.
only
You
have
have been coding for how long?
Like
Less
6
than
weeks?
2 years.
You're the teacher.
Yeah, I am the teacher.
And
but
that
again,
took you 3 hours?
but I also
the
built
teacher.
login and registration.
The login and
Which
registration
took
took 45 minutes.
It took 45
Yeah.
minutes, so it took me 2 hours to build out the whole thing.
wait, what? How's that?
It took me about 3 hours, right? 4 hours?
It
Well,
took 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Okay, yeah.
Parade,
So it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy.
you were
but
not supposed to be on his side.
You also have to remember that there were many times that I stopped to explain things, which you don't have to do during the belt exam.
Right.
Yes, Martin, when I post this, it will be a movie instead of a standard video. So you'll have to hop over to AMC to watch this. Oh, they're closed, I think. Well,
I
tough
don't
luck.
have the AMC
Stick
Pro.
around for the after credits scene, though.
Yeah, that's the best part. There's a cameo. Oh, you'll be
So
excited.
Cody
to
gets the
pass
Infinity Stones.
to pass the belt exam, everything should be working, right?
Yes. So another thing that I do want to point out is that some of the functionalities that I built into this would be more along the lines of black belt functionalities on the belt exam. So yeah. So this was an undertaking. I underestimated the complexity of it. I could have done more. I wanted to do more, but then when I realized how long it was going to take, I cut it out. But yeah.
So the belt exam is going to be this complicated or not this complicated?
Not quite as complicated, I think. For the most part, so I think I can safely promise you guys that the exam that you're going to take Monday, many to many will not be a red belt qualification. Many to many will be a black belt qualification. This whole project that I just built lives and dies on the many to many relationship.
So it would just be like a foreign key, maybe we'd use?
Most likely, yes.
Okay.
But if you do want a black belt, I would make sure that you are comfortable with using many-to-many relationships, as well as be able to recognize when a many-to-many relationship is appropriate.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions?
Question.
What
yes.
difference does the black belt make?
What do you mean, what difference does it make?
When do you get a certificate that you're black belt? in
It
scoring?
will say on your certificate if you got black belts versus red belts, yes.
Okay.
But in terms of like in the grand scheme of things, like when you go try and get a job after this, on paper it will make no difference. Like I don't think there's any company that's going to say, "Oh shit, you're a triple black belt from Coding Dojo, you're hired." But if you know how to do the things that are required to get a black belt, obviously you are going to be seen as a better developer because they are, more challenging tasks that are good to know and, good things to know how to do in the industry.
Question for you, Cody.
Yes.
If you build your belt exam out with many-to-many or try to go for the black belt, but it doesn't work, can you just comment out the stuff that's not working?
Yeah, so
Your red
my advice to you guys on the belt exam is going to be get the red belt stuff working first. And then check in with me. I will check it and check you off for the red belt, and then you can go do your black belt. Because the last thing that you want to do is have everything working, and then in the last 5 minutes while you're working on black belt stuff, have everything break, and you didn't have me check off, and then instead of just a red belt, you have no belt.
Okay.
And it happens at least once a cohort.
Oh yeah.
So if you have all the web pages, then you get a red belt.
Yes, so on the belt exam there will be explicit directions on what exactly you need to do for a red belt. It will say that, so it'll be kind of like these wireframes, but so I think I know the best example that we have on the platform available for you guys is Dojo Reads. So it'll be like this. It'll show you. It'll look almost exactly something like this, where it has the lines, this thing should go to this page and this thing should go to that page, with little stickers that say things. And then there will be another set of stickers of these little Post-it notes that will say, for a black belt, do this, this, and this. I also recommend at the bottom making sure that you read the actual text instructions, because sometimes the little stickers may not be the most clear, but it will be clear in the actual text down at the bottom.
So the Dojo Reads assignment, because you're working with foreign keys and many-to-many, it's kind of like preparing you for working your way towards a black belt, essentially.
Oh yeah. Yep. And Dojo Reads and User Dashboard are both, I would say, more complicated than the actual belt exam.
And I've given this advice to a few people, but I'll give it to everybody as a class. It makes it a lot easier if you organize yourself and organize your own sort of wireframe of like where things should go, what URL you're going to use, what view that URL is going to go to, and whether it's going to be a render view, a render function, or if it's going to redirect, if it's going to be like a post request. And if you can organize all that and sort of have it all mapped out on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper or something in front of you, it makes the rest of the process much smoother, much easier, and it keeps you from sort of building yourself into a corner.
Yep. And you'll
I mean, like,
see if
once
you go
you
back
just-
and you rewatch this video, that's essentially what I did when I was first setting up my routes. Right, I sat there and I looked at the wireframe, and I said, okay, so I'm going to have a route for the book dashboard, a path and view for creating a new book, path and method for showing one book, for adding an author to one book. Mapping out how many paths you're going to need, how many methods you're going to need, and a general idea of what each thing is going to do. And yes, I would go a step further. I know I didn't do it in this one. I usually do it, but when I initially set everything up as a skeleton, I just had pass and everything. I would recommend, just like Dakota said, being able to recognize whether you need to render or redirect, and that will make everything so much easier moving forward.
So Cody, for your URLs, you don't
Yes.
because your second app is calling /dashboard or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to put dashboard/books/create in your URLs, but in your views you have to specify that, right?
So I like to always be safe. So in the URLs, no, I don't need to put /dashboard because we're already in here because of /dashboard.
Okay.
Because we matched the dashboard and then came in here. The reason that we need it in here and here is because essentially what's happening is it's sending in another HTTP request to our server. And so putting /dashboard makes sure that the server knows where to start everything from. And I just like doing it. It's good practice. It's safe. It's going to work. I tend to see students run into issues when they start not putting the full route. And there's alternatives to it. There's a section on the platform with reverse route lookup things. It's a good skill to have. I just find that there's not really enough time to squeeze it in and get everybody comfortable with it. So it's an optional section. But that's another alternative that you have, and I recommend looking into that in the future when you keep learning things later on.
And if the multi-app thing is confusing, there's really no need to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did my black belt exams with a single app.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's confusing and if you feel like that's going to be something extra for you to sort of learn over the weekend, I would just focus on making it all one app.
Mm-hmm. Yes. If that's going to be easier for you to understand and navigate through, then yes, absolutely, 100%. Build everything in one app. This is just I'm used to this because of modularization. Honestly, I would have personally modularized this project even more than I already did. But I'm not going to expect you, there's going to be no requirement that you guys actually fully modularize to any extent. You can have everything in one app within the project if you're more comfortable doing it that way. Any other questions? All right. If that's the case, I will have this video uploaded onto YouTube by the end of today. I will also put this code on GitHub for you guys. The rest of the day is for you guys to work on stuff and ask questions. But I think after that insane demo, I am going to step away from my computer for a little while. I should be back by about 3 o'clock. So, cool. Thank you for hanging out and sticking around through that whole thing, because that was really something.